Hi, I'm Roger. Welcome back to my own little kitchen. We're going to be making chicken soup today. And I start with a whole chicken, and I'll tell you why I want to cut it up as opposed to putting it in whole. As you can see, I've cut up the chicken. I've cut it up into breasts, thighs, wings, and drumsticks. I also am going to put in the backbone because that adds flavor to it. I've taken most of the skin off so that you don't have a whole lot of fat in it, but still on the legs and the wings and the back, I still left the skin on so we have some fat, because after all, fat is where God put the flavor. Alright, so I have my pan heating up. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Give that a second to heat up. Now I have 1 large onion chopped up. 2 to 3 carrots chopped up. If they're small, use 3. If they're use 2 if they're bigger. I have 2 stalks of celery chopped up in a dice. Now I also have tarragon, 1 teaspoon. So what I do is I measure it out, put it in the palm of my hand, and then break it down in little bits. One teaspoon pepper. One teaspoon salt. Give that a stir. Roasting the vegetables makes them caramelize a little bit, which brings out more of the flavor. Now I have 2 cloves of garlic that have been minced. You don't want to put it in with the rest of them because garlic will burn very quickly. Just stir that in there, give it about a minute. You can almost smell it immediately. You want to make sure that it does not brown. Now I have 2 bay leaves. Put those in. Give it another stir. And now I add 8 cups of chicken broth. You can use chicken stock, you can use water, you can use water and add chicken bouillon to it, either in the cubes or the powder. Made a little bit of a mess here. Clean that up. I always have something ready. And now, while that's heating up, we add the chicken. And again, I did not remove any of the bones because bones add flavor. And here's the backbone. Some stores still sell a whole chicken cut up. The store by me used to call it pick of the chicks. But nowadays you don't find that very often. Everything is always either all wings, all breasts, all thighs. And you really need a combination when you go to cook. And not to be gross or anything, but this is the skin I took off. Again, some people like to use all of the skin for the fat. They think it adds flavor. I like to leave just a little bit of it on. So what I'll do now, cover the pot, make sure that's on high, and bring it to a boil. And we'll let it cook about 30 minutes. I'll take the chicken out, let it cool, cut it up into smaller pieces, add the pasta. So I've taken the chicken out, and as you can see it's steaming. It would be too hot for me to cut into small pieces right now, so I'll let that cool. But while that's cooling, I'm going to add the pasta. What I have here is anci de pepi, which is a very, very small round pasta. It swells up when it cooks, but this is a traditional dry Italian pasta that's often used for soups. So I'll add that to the pot. Give it a stir. And by the time I cut up the chicken into smaller pieces and add it back in and bring it up to temperature, the pasta should be cooked. Alright, so this is what I got from the chicken. I didn't take anything off the wings. There's really not that much meat. I just threw them in there for extra flavoring. And I also threw out the backbone. Didn't take any meat off that. So what I'll do now is just add this, just enough to heat it up. The pasta's already cooked and ready. So once the chicken is heated through, the soup will be done. And here we have the final product. You can see the pieces of celery and carrots, onions, chicken, and the anci de pepi. When you cut up the chicken, you want to make sure you go through it carefully. Try to remove as much fat chunks as you have in there. Be careful about bones and gristle. That's your chance to take it out. Cut it into small pieces, cut it into large pieces. Either way, it's going to be very tasty. You'll want to taste it here. It might need more salt, it might need more pepper or other seasonings. Now, being Italian, what I like to do here while it's still hot, I like to get some of that cheese again and grate some over the top and let it melt in. That's my way. But no matter how you serve it, with a thick slice of crusty bread, with cheese, or with a nice salad, you've got a good meal. This is Roger. Thank you for joining me again in my own little kitchen.